Google has just dropped a new version of Nano Banana, their amazing image creation tool. I've been using this tool for months now. Used it for personal purposes, mostly to mess with my wife and friends. But no, also used it for many clients and web design work and things like that. Phenomenal tool, probably the best image creation tool on the market. Well, now they are updating it to Nano Banana 2. Now, one of the things that I'm really excited for, and I haven't tested this yet, but allegedly it's supposed to have faster performance than the previous iteration. I remember in the past, especially if you're creating multiple images and doing a lot of edits, it could take you several minutes in some cases to really perfect the image that you're trying to go for. Allegedly now, that time is going to be lessened. So, and the model should be more accurate, so it's going to nail that iteration maybe on the first or second attempt, whereas previously it took 4 or 5 attempts and it took several minutes to get to. But we're going to be the judge of that one. So today we are going to put this to the test here, Nano Banana 2, right here in Google Gemini. And the first thing I noticed here, so in Google Gemini, if you're just in the regular prompt area, you hit Tools, you hit Create Image to get to the Nano Banana area. One thing that's interesting is they now have this style section here. So you can choose a visual aesthetic that you're going for. This could be great for UGC creators, people making, let's say, meta ads, and they're trying to, let's say they want to make, they're doing something about like life insurance and they want to do a soft portrait, type of aesthetic like that. Or they're doing a short film and they want it to be a little sci-fi-ish with the steampunk aesthetic, or pretty much any aesthetic you want, any look you want, you can get it here. And it's visual too. So for us visual people, they're a little bit less techy overall. This is super useful. But we're going to test this. We're going to see how this actually looks. So my favorite animal is a dachshund. So I'm going to test it on dachshunds here. So I'm going to say Gothic. Let's try Gothic clay as an example, okay? Provide a photo of 2 dachshunds, 1 brown and 1 black, strutting confidently towards a swimming pool for an afternoon dip. Struttering, let's change that word. How about stuttering confidently towards the swimming pool for an afternoon dip. And we'll hit OK. Now you can see it's loading Nano Banana 2 by default. So I have this set on Pro, on Nano Banana Pro, and now Nano Banana 2 is the new default option that Gemini chooses for this. So we'll see how this goes. We'll see how quickly this goes. I'm playing this in real time, so it's been maybe 10 seconds now. I really want to see if the speed is significantly different from the previous version. That's really the goal of this test here. And here it is. So that was pretty quick. That was less than 20 seconds, I think. And here's my 2 dachshunds in a claymation. What was the name of the theme? Gothic clay. All right, so it looks a little bit like Nightmare Before Christmas, which is what I was going for. And even the swimming pool looks real. I mean, this looks like a claymation that somebody built, on a little set with the swimming pool and everything. That's pretty amazing. So now let's take this same prompt and let's try to mess around with the different themes. So I'm not entirely sure how you would change the theme once you're already in a window like this. I think you might be relegated to that theme, which is fine. At least that way you're ensuring you're going to get that consistency. I could actually see this being super useful for people making video content because you can really get this aesthetic nailed the entire way through. You could create all of the frames of your video this way and then feed them into a tool like Google Veo or Kling or any of those to create a video. So let's try to do a new one then. Let's do a new chat and let's go to create image again. And let's try a different aesthetic here. Let's try a different aesthetic here and let's see what might work. So let's do, what do we think here? Risograph. It looks interesting. Let's try that one. Again, we're using the same prompt. Change this to Pro. Well, let's try fast. Let's try fast. Let's see if there's any difference here. There might not be a difference ultimately for images with Nano Banana 2. But I also want to see if there is a difference in speed, because fast theoretically should be a lot faster. So we'll see what happens here. And it is faster. And it's okay. I mean, so they did do that aesthetic, the risograph, but I don't know. I'm not super impressed. Let me try it with Pro and see if it's any better quality. It might take a few seconds longer, but I want to see if the quality is any better. Because that wasn't amazing. That was okay, but it wasn't great. All right, that was pretty fast. And looks pretty similar. It looks the same, basically. I don't see any difference there. Interesting, but I will say it is significantly faster, and that's really the main thing I was looking at here. How fast could we get this thing to load? So if you're making frames for a commercial, like let's say you're doing, like I said, the insurance example, a soft portrait, an elderly couple sits on a couch with dachshunds all over them and the ground in front of them. They look so happy. Because why wouldn't you, right? I would be so happy if I had a bunch of dachshunds on my lap and around me. But I digress. Let's see what Nano Banana gives us for this. Any day now? No, that was really fast. Okay, here we go. Yeah, I mean, that's for being that fast, that was under 10 seconds from the prompt to the creation. And this, yeah, I mean, absolutely nailed it here. You could use this. I mean, you could easily use this as like a display ads banner, for example. This would be totally believable, I think. Yeah, and of course, the more detailed you are with your prompt, the better. I'm doing a quick little example here, but you could get deeper into the lighting, the sunlight, the way the people look, their appearance. You can get a lot more into the weeds there, or you could feed an image like this into Canva, for example, and make some tweaks, some manual tweaks if you prefer to do that. But I mean, just out of the box, this is pretty fantastic. This is pretty good. Yeah, so let's read a little bit more on Nano Banana 2 and see if there's anything that we need to be doing to test this thing that we haven't done yet. So here are a few things to try. Transport yourself back to your old hometown. We now pull images from the web to accurately render places and products. So this is something I really do want to test. Maybe I'll test that in just a second here. Because I make a lot of travel content, travel videos on YouTube, and I try to pull some drone footage, some stock, quote, drone footage from those areas. But so far, I haven't really found a perfectly accurate rendition of those areas, right? Especially because we were in Australia, we were in some more kind of rural parts of Australia, so they didn't have a perfectly accurate rendition of that, as you'd expect. I'm wondering if now that's changed. Bring your friends together as a rock band. Maintain character resemblance for up to 5 people and high fidelity for up to 14 objects. So that's really useful too. So if you're doing, especially what I was saying, if you're making videos, right, you need that character consistency, especially for scenes where there's multiple characters together. Those details used to get really messy. Now apparently that's been cleaned up a bit, which is great. Create an ad for your business idea in any language. Generate perfectly legible text for marketing mockups. Text is another one. So if you're a graphic designer and you need mockups for logo designs or web designs, that could be really useful too. Because I remember historically they did a decent job with text, but it wasn't. You could still tell there were some imperfections with it. Learn about something new with an infographic. Now this is also great for business presentations, right? Putting data into a client-facing infographic that's easy to share with them, or posting on your website and getting it shared as an image and ranking in Google image search. I'm thinking about it from an SEO standpoint. That's really nice. I think for this, I'm going to try the pull images from the web to render places. I'm going to test that right now and see if we can do that for one of the examples that I was talking about in Australia, because I've really been struggling with this to get something that looks right for me. So I think I'm going to avoid one of these themes for now. I'm just going to go without a theme and see how this looks, and we'll try Pro. I don't think it really matters, but we'll try Pro, and we'll describe this as a stunning day in the Australian tropical city of Cairns. Overhead realistic 4K drone footage of the Cairns Esplanade. Showcasing its beauty. Now, this reads a little bit like a video prompt, but I want to see what this gives us here, because theoretically you could use this as a starting frame in Veo 3.1 and then add an end frame and then create a piece of little video together like that and use it as stock footage. Because I think stock footage using AI is really on the come up, man. It's if they can perfect these locations like this, then I mean, forget having to buy a drone, right? Just kidding. I still think getting the actual footage will be better, but it is interesting to say the least to test this out. So let's see, again, we're gonna see how quickly this loads and really how accurate this is. I know the area very well, how it looks, and I'll be the judge if it doesn't look good or it doesn't look accurate. So let's see here. Constructing our drone view. You can see the process details. I mean, it's going through this pretty quickly. Spatial accuracy, very important. Okay, here we go. And it's not great, to be honest. It's not. So it got some of this right, some of it not right. This isn't. So it's this sort of facing the wrong way. It got some things right. The Esplanade Lagoon looks vaguely like this, but it's sort of facing the wrong way, and it should be on the other side of should be over here somewhere. But anyway. Yeah, so I think this needs a little bit of work, I would say, and maybe I just need to play around with some other locations or prompting. Or maybe I need to tell it, use accurate location data. Maybe we'll try that. Let's try that. Let's go here. Use accurate spatial and location data so that everything is situated correctly to real life. Don't know if this will make a difference, but we'll try it out. Now this is interesting. I've seen a few of these examples. So this is an example of yesterday versus today, basically, the old Nano Banana versus Nano Banana 2. And you can see the level of detail. So really, the level of detail is, I think, what people are noticing the most with this. It's so interesting. Yesterday, I needed to generate an image for a code snippet post. I tried Nano Banana, I was disappointed, so I went back to Midjourney. Well, that's the interesting part. People who have been in AI now for the last 2 years, we remember Midjourney. Midjourney was really the first high-profile image platform that we used back then, and it did a good enough job. But compared to where we are now with these tools like Nano Banana, it's just mind-blowing. All right, let's see what it gives us here. Now, okay, this is much better. So this still isn't perfect, but it's actually much better. Much better. Everything's facing the right way for the most part. This is pretty accurate. There is no water area here. That's whatever, but this walkway is pretty accurate. Although it looks like, is that a vehicle down there? I don't know. This isn't bad. You could piece something together using this and then maybe an end frame further down, or you could do one of those tricks where you have the end frame be a close-up of me, doing a vlog down here and have it zoom in with that effect. So it could work for something like that, but it's still not perfect. It's still not really at that place where, it could replace your drone footage. I don't think we're quite there yet. We will get there eventually, but not yet. So, but yeah, I mean, I've been looking through LinkedIn, seeing a lot of these examples, and like flow charts, right? You can look at look at some of these really advanced infographic, flow chart creations people are putting together. That's amazing. It's really amazing stuff. I mean, you could make Where's Waldo. Like you could create like a whole Etsy book of Where's Waldo, but maybe insert Where's the Dachshund. I don't know. Okay, that's enough about dachshunds. But yeah, no, explore Nano Banana for yourself. I think there's probably a lot of possibilities here that I'm just barely tapping into, especially with all these different theme options and whatnot. I would go through here and just mess around with it. See what you can do, especially tying it to video. I think the tie into video is super key. I've been using Nano Banana in its, the first version for video creation now for many months, and I'm happy with it. It does a great job at getting that character consistency down and really painting the scene the way that you want it. But I suspect this will be even better for that. So, and it's a lot faster, which is great. But yeah, that's going to do it for this video. It's a quick one. I just wanted to walk through this because this literally just got announced here today. So thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, do all of that good stuff, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.